Welcome to Module 4 of our AI Governance course. Today, we're really moving from just talking about policy to actively building protection. We're going to construct a critical piece of your compliance armor, the automated kill switch. You know, for any California clinic or nonprofit that's using AI, this isn't just some fancy tech tool. It's an absolutely essential safety and enforcement mechanism.
So, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start with the legal and ethical mandate, really the why behind this whole thing. Then we'll dissect how it works, piece by piece, and walk through how you can actually deploy it. After that, we'll cover testing, and finally, we'll plug it right into your organization's compliance playbook.
All right, let's begin by setting the stage. In this first section, we're going to examine the high-stakes legal world you're operating in. This will make it crystal clear why having an automated stopgap isn't just a nice-to-have, it's a legal and ethical must-have. This is the question that should keep us up at night. For any of you handling sensitive data, a violation of regulations like California's CPRA, that's the California Privacy Rights Act, or the federal HIPAA law, it isn't just a fine. No, it's a catastrophic legal and reputational risk that can absolutely destroy the trust you've spent years building with your community. Here we can see exactly how that threat plays out. See on the left, that's your local database. It's full of sensitive client info, patient notes, diagnoses, all that personally identifiable information. Without a safeguard, that data can just flow right through this funnel and out to an external AI vendor. The second that happens, you've got an immediate liability on your hands. Our job is to cut that connection before a violation can even happen. So now that we all get the why, let's deconstruct the how. Inside your organization, it's so important that you can explain how this thing works. You need to be able to talk about it with regulators, your board, and your staff in plain English. Think of this flowchart as the brain of the whole operation. When a user tries to start up an AI tool, the system asks one single critical question. Has CPRA and HIPAA consent been given? A yes means everything proceeds as normal, but a no triggers an immediate kill command. And this whole decision, it's totally automated and happens in just milliseconds. Now, at the very heart of this safeguard is a surprisingly simple block of code. I know it might look a little technical, but this is your primary defense. It's really made of three distinct parts. You've got the audit stamp, the interrogator, and then the execution command. Let's break each one of those down. So the first really critical piece is what we call the interrogator. Now, it's not scanning the data itself. That's a key point. Instead, it's looking for proof of consent. It's looking for that digital receipt that, as we talked about back in Module 3, should be created by your consent banner and tucked away in the user's browser. It's just asking one simple question. Is there proof of permission here? Yes or no? This diagram really shows the two paths that branch out from that one single question. If the interrogator finds that AI consent value, the process follows the green path. All good. But if that value is missing or invalid, the system immediately routes everything to the red kill path. It's a simple binary choice that enforces the policy you've already set. And when the interrogator finds no valid consent, this is the automatic consequence. It's a super fast 5-step sequence. It injects an override, purges the local memory, locks up all the input fields, and throws up that alert screen. The most important part? It all happens instantly. The connection is just severed. No staff intervention required at all. Okay, understanding the theory is vital, but now we have to get it working. In this section, we'll walk through the exact steps your team will take to deploy this shield. This is the hands-on, workforce-ready part of our training today. Here's your 4-step implementation guide. First, you've got to secure the browser with the TamperMonkey extension. That's our engine. Second, create the new script. Third, and this is important, name it clearly so you have a clean audit trail. And fourth, you define which websites or portals it needs to watch over. And remember, for this to work, these steps have to be done on every single staff computer that accesses these AI tools. And this is what it looks like in action. We call it the digital blast door, and for good reason. As you can see, this is not just some polite little warning pop-up. The override script literally destroys the web page's structure for that session, making it impossible for a user to interact with the page or transfer any data. The pipeline is completely neutralized. So, with the shield deployed, we now have to verify that it actually works and get ready for some real-world situations. This is where the role of your designated AI compliance officer becomes absolutely central to your day-to-day governance. This matrix right here,
This is your proof of compliance. It gives you that clear before and after picture for your records. Before, a user without consent had full access, a catastrophic risk. After, that access is severed and blocked. This table is the exact document you would show a regulator to prove your safeguard is active and doing its job.
Now, in the real world, you're going to run into edge cases. This slide breaks down the two main scenarios and the strict protocols you need for each one. A false positive? That needs a single session bypass key directly from the compliance officer. A true emergency override? That requires the officer to manually disable the script, log the whole event, and then reactivate it immediately after. You see the pattern here? All roads lead through the compliance officer.
Let's just pause here for a reflective question. I want you to take a moment and really consider this. What are the risks if an override isn't formally documented? Think about how just one undocumented event could completely undermine your entire compliance defense during an audit. It would basically make it look like you have an unenforced policy.
Okay, finally, let's connect this technical tool into your organization's bigger crisis playbook. I want you to think of the kill switch as the first responder on the scene. It contains the immediate threat, but it's not the entire emergency response. So the kill switch is your first line of defense, your T-0. This timeline shows how activating it kicks off a controlled, multi-day crisis playbook. It stops the immediate threat, which gives you the breathing room you need to contain the situation, investigate it, and report it properly, all according to a clear procedure.
And this right here is the key takeaway. The kill switch's real value isn't just in blocking one session. It's about turning a potential catastrophe into a manageable, documented incident. It stops the immediate bleed, which gives you the time to execute your full response plan calmly and effectively.
All right, your final action item for this module is to complete this implementation tracker. This document is going to serve as your internal verification and, just as importantly, a critical piece of your compliance record. Completing it confirms that all the mechanisms and logic are deployed and your environment is officially secured.
And congratulations on completing this critical module. By implementing this safeguard, you're not just installing a script, you are embedding a culture of safety and accountability right into your operational DNA. This is a foundational layer of compliant AI use, and it gets you ready to advance to Module 5. Well done!